G'day everyone, this is Troy from Dashcam Owners Australia. Today we're going to be taking a look at the DOD LS470W. The LS470W is a full HD 1080p at 30 frames per second dashcam that retails for $349 Australian dollars. The 470W also has built-in GPS as well as parking mode capability when wired up correctly. Now we'll take a look at everything that comes in the box with this product. As you can see here, starting top left, we have our charging cord, our warranty card, the DOD player software. Going to bottom left, we have our 3M double-sided tape mount, our suction mount, the camera itself, as well as the user manual. Now with this camera they also supplied me a hardwire kit and a CPL filter, however they are both optional extras, they are an additional cost. Now I will briefly cover the CPL filter later in the review just so you get an idea of that, but for the time being we'll take a look around the camera itself. Starting from our front on view here, you can see a very nice looking model here with a little bit of white text. On the back we have our screen and menu buttons as well as our event recording button, so you can hit that to save a file. Along the top we have our charger / USB port and AV in and out, the power button, as well as the mode changing, so video to photo mode button. On this side we have our micro SD card slot, and on the other side we have our HDMI out or mini HDMI out and a reset port. And here's just a few shots of it mounted in my car alongside a Street Guardian SG9665GC, just as a little size comparison there. Now I'll give you a quick rundown of the menu options on this camera. I'm not going to go too far in depth, it's fairly boring stuff. Here's our video modes, no reason to take it out of 1080 as far as I'm concerned. Our exposure value options there. Now we have a few different settings for your picture, so your auto, daylight, cloudy, etc. I left it on auto for all of my footage. Then we have our microphone options, on and off there, date stamp options, on and off there, loop recording, so 2 minutes, 3 minutes or 5 minutes per clip. Our G-sensor settings, off, high, middle and low. And that's our driver tag, so you'll see that printed on some of the videos that I post later. This is a driver revival warning, so 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours it'll remind you. GPS logging, on or off. We have our heads up display options, which I'll touch on a bit later on in this review, but that can come on 15 seconds, 1 minute or 3 minutes after start. These are the overspeed warnings, so you can set it to flash a warning whenever you go over your set speed there. Speed units, you can set kilometers per hour or miles per hour. Below that we have our image rotation settings. Then we have our time-lapse settings, as you can see here, so you can take time-lapse videos, photography. Here we can format our memory card. We have our language options, setting the date and time, flicker, beep noises for the menus, as well as our screensaver, video output, speed stamp, firmware settings, and how we do a factory reset. And here is the firmware version just for everybody at home. Now we get to the good part, the footage for this camera. Now to start off with, I'll be showing you footage without the CPL filter. I do have a few clips later on with the CPL filter just so you get a comparison. The CPL filter is just designed to sort of cut down on reflections from your windscreen. As you can probably see in the left hand side here, I do get a bit of reflection from my dashboard, which the CPL filter helps cut down later on. But apart from that, this camera has very, very nice video footage. The Sony Exmor sensor does a very, very nice job on dash cams. You really can't fault the quality you get out of one. And now I'll just change over to some different footage with no CPL filter, just so you get an idea of a few different scenarios. In this next clip, I'll stop talking for a second just so you can hear what the microphone on this particular camera is like. I don't really say anything in this clip, but you'll be able to get a good idea anyway. So there you have it for the microphone. Very crisp, clear audio. Picks up a lot of the ambient noises, very clear inside the car. Just what you want from a dash cam in this price range. Now the footage I'm showing you now is with the CPL filter on, so as you can see it's cut down a bit on those reflections in the left and right bottom side corners of the camera, so it's improved that quite a bit. And it doesn't really do anything to ruin the footage. It's still as good as it was before. And you'll see that later with the night footage. It doesn't really hurt that at all. Now what I've done there was just join two clips end to end. So it's not totally seamless footage. They have a slight piece of overlap, but it means you don't at least lose any of the footage between the clips. Alright, now it's time to get stuck into some nighttime footage. Now all this footage is shot with the CPL filter on the camera, but that doesn't seem to be hurting it one bit, as you can see. Still very nice footage, even considering it's like a stormy sort of night in Sydney, so it's quite dark. No real stars or moon in the sky to give you additional lighting there, so it's basically just street lights and cars, but the camera still does a very, very nice job of it. I'll move on to some darker footage in a moment. I'll be going over to Heathcote Road, so there's no street lamps, but to start off the clip I'll have my high beams on just to give you an idea of the changing exposure on the camera. Now as you can see I've turned off my high beams. It still does a fairly good job of it. It gets a little bit grainier when there's not a lot of light to work off with. But as you'll see, the camera adjusts quite quickly to the oncoming car's headlights, and you'll see the changes in the darkness of the sky around that. Now overall I was quite impressed with this camera. It's quite a nice package. It does very good quality video, it's got good quality audio, it's packed full of features and options. As I mentioned earlier, it has a heads-up display, and what that means is as you're driving along, the screen will basically turn to a black background, but it'll display your GPS speed as well as your directions, so you have a GPS speedo as you're driving along, which is a nice little handy feature as well. Now there's a few small things that I wasn't particularly fond of with the camera. The first being the micro SD card slot. I found it very difficult to put in and remove the card. You really have to use some sort of tool to get it out. You can't get it in and out with your fingernail, which is, I suppose, a good and bad thing. You're not going to lose it easily, but it can be a bit painful at times. The other sort of complaint that I have is the GPS speed and sort of sensitivity. I found it jumps around quite a bit too much. It probably just updates a bit too fast and jumps between satellites, but I found it sort of tends to jump all over the place rather than being a bit more constant in its readings. But that's not really going to be too much of an issue for most people. I just sort of found it annoying. But apart from that, I hope you've enjoyed this review, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.